The whole spirituality thing, there's so many different things, isn't there? You know, like some people are into kind of the philosophy, reading about it. Some people are into kind of getting messages from spirit. Some are into Reiki healing. But then, you know, the kind of the Tao stuff and the martial arts of Tai Chi goes back thousands of years, isn't it? It's like it's almost like a wise spirituality, isn't it? In a way, like learning how to focus and have that discipline.
Yes, exactly. It's very practical, so that but you do the techniques and you do put yourself into the position of being a channel. So you can channel spirit. You do the techniques and you put yourself in the position of being someone who can manifest changes in an external reality according to your intention. You put yourself in the right state according to these principles. You can heal people. You can transmit energy. So it's a really amazing template upon or from which you can express it in all the important ways in your life. So it kind of, although it's not even thought of as spirituality, more as sort of super skills, life skills. It is actually the as far as I know, the broadest based kind of spiritual template that exists. And there's no hocus pocus or mumbo jumbo. You don't have to believe anything. You just have to sort of, do you know what I mean? There's no kind of names or weirdnesses about it. You just do it and it starts working. I love that about it. Very pragmatic.
Yeah.
Not that I don't, I like a bit of hocus pocus and stuff, I'm not, it makes life fun.
Because obviously at the moment there's a lot of new age concepts that have probably been, I don't know, they're kind of recycled things. Like they've got like law of attraction and the secret and stuff like that, and they tell you to focus on stuff. But isn't that kind of stuff that's already been around with this stuff in a way? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, very much so. I mean, the law of attraction is, what the Taoists called it Wu Wei, which means manifesting whatever you need without any effort, simply by seeing it. And they developed the art of doing that really in a refined way. So that's what I teach, how to actually position your consciousness in your brain, how to position yourself in your body to get maximum power to do the visualization and make it happen. And yeah, I mean, the secret and all those things, they're a beautiful piece of marketing, really. I mean, I have immense respect for the Rhonda Byrne for doing that marketing job. It was brilliant. And all the people that have been involved in it, good luck to all of them. But it is, to my mind, very, very basic and not actually telling very much for me, but then I've been doing this stuff for 4 decades. So, I suppose it would feel like that. But it's helped a lot of people. And that's the main thing. I think what happens is then they start realizing there's, a bit further, more levels to study at. And that's when they start coming to guys like us, I think, because they're going into a deeper level then. I think it's something to do with authenticity. There seems to be a general lack of authenticity in the self-help industry, so to speak. It just does seem very marketing orientated as opposed to love orientated. Although, I'm not thinking of anyone in particular, just the sort of impression I get.
Yeah. I'm just looking at your website. You've actually got a very interesting kind of background, haven't you? History of sort of travelling in various different places and really learning through experience, on the ground in different, with different cultures and stuff like that. I mean, you could write a book on that. I'm sure you probably have, haven't you?
I have, yeah. In fact, my latest book is exactly about that.
Is it really? It sounds
Yeah.
really interesting. I mean, it's like I don't know, a modern day Karate Kid mixed with Indiana Jones style. I mean, can you give us a taster of that? It sounds fantastic.
Well, I mean, it started when I was really young. I was awake as a child. I don't know why, but that sort of trance of the everyday world that the adults were trying to sell to us as children. For some reason, I just didn't buy it ever. And I remember hearing the Om sound when I was 6, just spontaneously lying on the bed. It went a kind of, but like that, it was 50 times deeper than that and huge. And I knew it was sound. What I called it at the time was God talking. And it wasn't a surprise or anything. It was like, yeah, the sound. That's the sound of God.
Where'd you hear that in your mind, or?
Yeah, between my ears, yeah, right in the middle of my brain. But I wasn't hallucinating, and I knew I wasn't. Although I knew my mum couldn't hear it. I mean, I only found out as an adult through studying inquiring into it, that's what physicists call the background radiation wave, which is 50 octaves below human hearing, and it's what the universe is built on. Um, so it was like that. It was just for some reason a spontaneous hearing of the sound that builds us. And then I was a bit of a scrapper at school. I used to love fighting. My dad was a boxer and he taught me to box, and I was just always into fighting. I used to love it. Too much, and I got into trouble fighting too much. And my dad got me into Aikido because a friend of his was studying with a Japanese master at the time. He was a healer as well. And so I was the only kid in the class. There was 5 adult males and me. I was 11. And he taught, because they wanted to know, as well as the Aikido, he taught the meditation and channeling ki or chi energy from the hands for healing purposes. So from the age of 11, even though it wasn't like, I didn't even know what healing was really. I didn't even care. But I was learning it, and I was good at it. It was because I was only 11. Why wouldn't I be good? There weren't many blocks there. I was only interested in the fighting thing, really, but that was the bit that kind of... and then I became a hippie when I was about 13, 67 in London. It was Swig in London. There was this whole amazing, exciting, exotic thing going on with kind of flavours of the Far East and India and all this ancient wisdom that was coming through. And I got drawn to yoga. So I still doing Aikido. I started yoga as well, and that was amazing because it just opened my body up and opened my mind up at the same time. From that, I went to study Chinese. No, I'm missing a bit out. I studied psychotherapy with RD Laing, who was an incredible man, a real maverick and a hero in the world of the psyche. Huge consciousness. And I was really studying wisdom and consciousness with him. I wasn't ever as good at, I never saw myself as ever being a psychotherapist. I just haven't got the patience to sit there talking to people or letting them talk to me all day. It would do my head in. I like to intervene fast and make a change happen. But it was an incredible training in healing people in a way, like learning to deal with people in a very distressed state and to get over the fear of madness, both in others and in myself. I then went to live with the Native Americans in New Mexico for 4 years, where I naturally took on, I became very close friends with a guy called Sonny Spruce. He's a real magician, what they call a shaman, I suppose, who taught me loads of stuff, like some amazing way of looking at reality, and how to pray to this great spirit in everything. In other words, how to maintain a dialogue with the Tao, the spirit informing everything. But while I was there, I also studied Chinese medicine and became a doctor of acupuncture and herbs and massage and all those things that the Chinese do, which is also Taoist, and the meditation. And then I'd also went to Hong Kong and studied Taoist magic with William the Beauteous Master, who he was a magician. He could make things happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything really amazing that just defies normal logic?
There were a few things, but the most amazing thing was he. Before I left, he held me by the upper arms and looked at me in the eyes and predicted a series of events that were going to happen to me, timed exactly over a course of about 12 years, and beyond that more vaguely. But every single thing he said, and some of them were completely unlikely to the point I was going, oh, come on, I'm never going to do that. Every single one of them came true. That was the most astonishing thing for me, really. To be honest, he'd manifest things. He'd make things happen. That's what I mean by magic. If he needed something, he'd make it happen. If he needed something from somebody, he'd draw them into his life and they'd come and bring him whatever it was he needed. And I've never seen anything quite so startling in that respect. It wasn't like it's anything you could put in a movie, like it's a special effect. I've seen stuff with my Tai Chi masters, specifically my one I have now, John Kells, who can throw people across a room without even twitching his nose, like Samantha and Bewitched. Yeah, just with his mind. And I've had it done to me enough times. It's like a huge gust of wind throwing you across the room. Yeah,
because you often see that in the kung fu movies, don't you? Where they're kind of building up that, is it chi or energy?
Chi, yeah.
And then they kind of fire it out really quickly because they do it at the blocks as well, didn't they? They put the intention to bash through like some bricks or a block.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
Um,
incredible.
it is incredible, isn't it? Well, that's just an example of when the mind is focused and the body is completely aligned behind the mind, and the breath is linked with it. There's nothing that you can't do. It's like you're almost superhuman. You are superhuman.
I suppose it's believing that we're more than a physical body, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Well, it's interesting you say believing, because for me it's like you know there's more. You don't have to believe it. It's like you can feel it somehow. It's like, how can you not know? You know?
Yeah, I think you do know when you're like a youngster, when you're a kid, but you get
Yeah,
conditioned, don't you?
exactly. That's exactly it. That's what I meant by the trance of the everyday. It kind of covers over the natural majesty of the being, the power that you are, the divine being that you are, and you stop feeling that you could even dare to think you were that. You know, how dare you think something so, sacrilegious, really?